So I have these strokes. They give me an angiogram at the hospital which shows that my vertebral arteries are completely blocked. And in fact, the only reason I'm still alive is because during those first 5 mini strokes, a little blood vessel grew around the blockage. It's quite an amazing mutation, really. But the story I want to tell you about now is about the recovery that I took and I undertook for myself, essentially. So from the very onset, I asked my dad to I'm in this electric wheelchair. I asked my dad to bring in tongue twisters, which are hard when you can speak properly, but when you're going are extraordinarily difficult. When I had the angiogram, decided there's no point being in hospital, so I came back. We'd sold my house in Newsley near Yedding, and I'd moved in with my dad. Now, traditionally, before I left home, I was in the loft room on the top of the house, 1, 2, 3, 4 flights of stairs. And I get to the bottom of the stairs, and my dad says, "Oh, we'll set you up a bedroom down here." And I said to him, "But how am I going to learn to walk upstairs if I don't walk upstairs?" And from that moment on, even though it took me months of dragging my right foot up and getting trapped on every step, that I put load on it. I think I fell down the stairs, not all of them, but I fell down a flight and a half 3 or 4 times because the leg is so weak it requires a great deal of concentration. So here I am, knackered, shuddering, shaking, really bad speech, and I just think this is the end. So I get ready to die. I pay for my funeral, chosen my eulogy, chosen the music, all that sort of stuff is all done. It's quite relieving actually once you've done it, and I'm ready to go. I don't expect to be here more than a week. So I'm in the gym because I don't want to be dying like which is how I was. So I'm in the gym next door to where I live, and I meet this bloke and start talking, and he goes, "Oh, you should volunteer in primary school because not many males work in primary education and it could be a good role model." And here am I'm like, I'm surprised you can even understand me, and I'm not going to be around for much longer, so yeah, cool, I'll volunteer. And at first, all I could do was 1 half day a week, because the rest of the time it's so difficult it's such a focus of attention to rewire your brain that it does make you very tired. So I'm only doing half a day a week, but those children saved my life. The energy, the exuberance, the questions that young children ask, they're like glowing orbs of luminescence. It's amazing. And I went from feeling awful to feeling just so privileged to be in that company of that energy. And I started off as a classroom assistant, then the school paid for me to become a TA. I'm a qualified TA, yada yada yada. But I got to a point where I tried to push up to 2 half days a week, and at the time I was taking a drug called Zopiclone, which is widely used sleep medication but very addictive if, like me, you've got severe pain that wakes you up again. And I was trying to do 2 half days. It was absolutely killing me, and then I just had a breakdown, and there were blood blisters on my inside thighs. It was a terrible time. And the children in the class, bear in mind I've seen them 1 half day a week for a school term. These children made me a card, a giant iPod card, and inside and over the entire surface of the card were little iPods with a little message from each child. And just the kindness of children really touches me. And so I sent an email saying I can't carry on at the moment. I'm down a hole, I can't see the edges. And from there I had to take stock. Went to the doctor, said I'm really addicted again to medication, need to find a different way. I'm now prescribed a drug which is very slow acting, so slow on the uptake and slow on the downtake, and it requires basically that in the morning when I become conscious, I am so groggy that I don't have to, I choose to go to the gym every morning at 6:30 or 8 o'clock at the weekends, because I'd realised that this profuse sweating, which is a symptom of my nerve damage, which had always been a pain, frankly, up until then, could be a benefit. And I thought, well, if I'm groggy because of the drugs, then maybe if I sweat really profusely, it will make me get rid of the drugs through my sweat. Didn't really have any scientific knowledge, but went for it big time every single day. So I was going previously 3 times a week, tickling exercise. I went from that to 7 days a week, really ramming it every day. So typically, as well as various exercises, I'll do an hour on the cross trainer, and when I come off it, you'd think I'd run through a swimming pool, my shirt is so wet. And I found that not only made me physically stronger and able to walk without shaking, but it improved my speech, it improved my cognition, it improved every aspect of my life. And so what I've learned is how to maximum performance from your brain, how to get that. And the things that I did to enable my own growth applied to someone without a brain injury means that you could really fly. For example, someone with MS may have heard of this, but there's a treatment called HBOT, which stands for hyperbaric oxygen therapy. And this is where you sit in a pressurized room, like a couple of atmospheres, and they pump you full of pure oxygen. And I was doing that while reading a book called Power Up Your Brain. I'll put a picture of that as well at the end of this. And essentially, the things that I learned to do and the way I've learned to make my brain operate at such a high rate that even with brain injury I can appear mostly, in quotes, normal, can be extremely beneficial to you. I understand what's required to achieve a result in your mind and in reality. To achieve it in your mind requires the sort of things that business coaches and personal coaches can offer. I'm going to be partnering with one of those very shortly. But essentially, to make your mind work differently, you have to consistently, that is, every day for 4 weeks, 28 days, is the minimum period to change the architecture of your brain so that something becomes a new normal. So you may say to me, oh, I'd like to do this, but, and the but is the story you're telling yourself. So that's the thing you need to change. A bit of a long video, this one. It's there's quite a lot to interweave, but we can speak if you contact me to do some business. Anyway, have a nice day. See you soon. Bye.